Hi everyone. Welcome back to Going Somewhere with Susie. It is Friday. Happy Friday. We made it. And today is the day. Today is the day I'm finally going to get to talk about our whale shark tour. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, it was great. So that is the short story. The long story is, as I mentioned in my last video, we were at the resort for a total of 8 nights, and we do like to sit by the pool and drink cocktails and hang out by the beach. But after a couple of days, we tend to get bored and want to do something a little more active and fun. We wanted to go to Chichen Itza, but when we were there, it was actually closed. All of the historic sites in Mexico were closed at that time. We were only about 10 minutes north of Tulum, but we couldn't go to Tulum. So I was disappointed that we weren't able to go to Chichen Itza. It's on my bucket list. So we'll just have to go back sometime so that we can see that. So I was looking for tours on TripAdvisor, found the highest rated tour operator, and went to their website to see what kind of tours that they offer. Pro tip, the reason that I do this is the tours that you can book directly through TripAdvisor, they actually are provided by another company. It's kind of like a pass-through, they're a middleman. The company that provides those tours used to be called Viator, and I had lots of problems with them when I was working in the industry. Booked them for several clients when they were Viator, and unfortunately the tour provider usually didn't show up half the time. It actually happened to me. I booked through Viator for myself, went to the tour meeting location, and no one was there. Supposedly they're getting better, but for me, I will actually use TripAdvisor to do research, and then once I've found the tour or the highest rated tour provider, I'll go directly to their website and book directly through the tour operator. So that way I know that they're going to show up, that they are responsible for providing the best service that they can. By all means, use TripAdvisor to search, see if you can find some cool tours, but then book directly through the supplier. Anyways, so went to the tour provider's website. Now, we booked this through a company called Ocean Tours Mexico. I'll leave the link for their website in the description. I wasn't looking for anything in particular. I was actually kind of looking to see what else was available since Chichen Itza wasn't available. I was thinking we might do a turtle tour or something, a cenote tour. But when I got to the website, I looked and found a whale shark tour, and my mind was blown. I was so excited. I ran upstairs to show JD. I was like, we can swim with whale sharks. We can swim with whale sharks. I love whale sharks. I think they're the coolest. They're only in Mexico during the summer. There is a plankton bloom, I guess, in the summertime where the waters of the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean Sea meet. So that's a big place for them to go and feed during the summer. We happened to be there at just the right time. It was about $200 per person for the whale shark tour. It sounds kind of expensive, but honestly, it was worth every penny. I definitely would pay it again. So it included transportation from our resort. So they picked us up at our resort. About the day before we went on the tour, I started to get kind of nervous. You know, you don't know what to expect, and these are huge animals. They're on average 14 to 16 feet long. So that's like 2 to 3 people long. I don't know that I've ever been around an animal that large before, so I started to get a little bit nervous. But they picked us up at our resort, and then it was a large van. We did have to put on hand sanitizer before we got in the van. The driver and the guide were both wearing masks, and we had to fill out a form that said that we weren't experiencing COVID symptoms. That was it, though. We did not have to wear masks in the van. And then we picked up another couple of women who are from New York. And then we stopped and picked up another couple of women who are from Florida. People from New York and Florida, I was sure we were going to get COVID. Luckily, we didn't. They did a really good job making sure that we were using hand sanitizer, and everywhere that we could wash our hands, we did. It was kind of a long drive up to the boat area, but during that time, they actually provided breakfast. They gave us plastic bags full of muffins and yogurts and drinks, juice. We got to eat breakfast on board the shuttle. Then they kind of told us what to expect while we were on our way. So they let us know the captain is going to like pull up in front of the whale shark and you got to jump out and then you swim alongside them. So they gave us all of these directions on our way, which kind of made the time go by a little bit faster. Now, it is an ecological kind of tour and they want to make sure that they're eco-friendly, so they don't allow you to wear sunscreen. We wore sun shirts, we had them with us, so we were wearing them, but they did offer sun shirts for purchase there as well, so we could have purchased a t-shirt. So when we got to the area where we met the boat, there was a restroom there, and so we got to use the restroom and wash our hands again before we got on the boat. And they made us take off our shoes, put them in a crate, and so anything that would have been on our shoes didn't transfer over. We also put on hand sanitizer before we got onto the boat. The boat was like a speedboat kind of thing, and we were going top speed out to the whale shark area, and it took about an hour. So we got out to where the whale sharks are, and there were a ton of whale sharks. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was not expecting there to be that many. There had to have been probably 100. They did say that they were having a really good whale shark season. I think it's because not so many people are out in boats and everything because of COVID. So nature is just kind of coming to life again, right? We've seen it in the canals in Venice and all over the world where nature is just kind of, taking advantage of the fact that humans are all indoors right now. Didn't really know what to look for. So on our way out there, they're like, okay, keep an eye out for animals, keep an eye out for turtles, keep an eye out for whale sharks. I'm looking around trying to see whale sharks and I'm like, ooh, is that one? Is that one? Is that one? I don't know. I'm like, I think that I'm seeing things, but I'm not. And when we arrived, you see them. You're not going to miss them. There are a ton of them and you can see their fins sticking out of the water. It's super cool. There were a lot of boats out in the whale shark area. We weren't the only ones, so there were quite a few boats out there and other people in the area. But even though they look like they're close to you, they're not really that close to you. And there were so many whale sharks there that it wasn't that big of a deal that there were that many boats out there. They do provide snorkel gear and they did sanitize it before we put it on. We brought our own. We had our own that we got from Amazon that was pretty highly rated, and we had used it to snorkel the day before in the lagoon at the resort. But my mask, for some reason, it was not staying on my face. So I ended up using one of their masks. We jumped in groups of 2 with a guide who had a GoPro who was swimming with us, taking pictures and video while we were swimming with the whale sharks. That was not included. We did have to pay extra for that. It was $40, but again, worth every penny. I would totally buy it again. So the first time JD and Ty went together, and then the next time I went with JD, that's when we found out that my mask was leaking. And so we were only in the water for maybe a minute before I had to get out and switch masks. Ty and JD jumped together, and so this is some of the video and pictures from their jump. Then I jumped with Ty, and so here's some pictures of Ty and I's jump together. Normally you only get 2 jumps, but the captain said because there were so many whale sharks out there, and since they were having such a good season, that we could go for a 3rd jump. The boys, they were good, so they didn't go again. So on the last jump, I actually went by myself. So like I said, I had been a little bit nervous the day before, but once you get out there, you get on the boat and you get out to where the whale sharks are, you do not have time to be nervous. You get out there and these things are giant. They're huge and they're just right at the surface, so you can swim right alongside of them. But you have to keep a certain distance between yourself and the animal. You can't touch them. That's against the law. And you kind of have to keep an eye out for their tail, because their tail does go back and forth and it can hit you. So I was kind of trying to stay a little bit far away from them on the first couple of jumps. But on the last jump, the guide took my life jacket and was just pushing me towards this whale shark. And I almost ran into it. It was so close to me, and I looked directly in its eyes. It was crazy and amazing. And there were also manta rays out there. We saw probably at least 20 to 30 manta rays. There was a ton of them out there as well. We even saw one albino manta ray, which was very cool. So we were out at the whale shark area probably for about 3 hours or so. They gave us a little snack, and then once everyone had jumped, we got back in the boat and went the hour back to the Cancun area. When we got back to the Cancun area, we actually got out and snorkeled. So we were looking for fish and stuff in a little reef area. And then when we were done snorkeling, they took us to this beautiful beach with white sand, crystal clear water, and that is where we had our lunch. We had ceviche and chips with guacamole, and I'd emailed them prior to our trip to let them know that JD had food allergies, so they did give him a cheese sandwich with guacamole and chips. He doesn't like guacamole. He did eat the chips. I ate the guacamole and the ceviche, and it was great. And we just ate right in the water, which was really cool. They put all the life jackets together to make a little table kind of thing. And then we were done. We went back to where the boat was and got off the boat, and then got back in the van, dropped off the other ladies, and then went back to our resort. That was our whale shark trip. And if you're in the area in the summertime and you have any interest at all, it is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and it's definitely worth every penny. I've done a lot of cool things in my life. It is probably in the top 1 or 2. I'd have to think about the other things that I've done, but that is definitely one of the coolest things that I've ever done. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll be back soon with another video. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye!